a Hero Group company. Bhavna joined the organization at its inception and has been a key contributor to its growth journey. In addition to HR, she also leads the IT, administration, and CSR functions, playing a pivotal role in shaping the company's people and purpose agenda. A passionate advocate for empowerment and inclusion, Bhavna is committed to enabling individuals to pursue their aspirations while also strengthening the voice of women in the corporate world. She holds an MBA from Banasthali Vidyapeeth, Rajasthan, and has further enhanced her leadership journey through prestigious programs such as HR Strategy in Transforming Organizations at the London Business School and the Executive Program in Business Finance from IIM Ahmedabad. Her contributions have been widely recognized. Most recently, she was named one of the global women leaders by the World HRD Congress in 2024. She has also been featured amongst the top 10 women in HR leaders by CEO Insights in 2021 and has been recognized multiple times as one of the 101 most fabulous HR leaders in India. Please join me in welcoming an inspiring leader and a driving force in shaping the future of work. Before I hand over the stage to Bhavna, just a quick note. I'll be keeping an eye on the chat along with my colleague. So please post your questions in the Q&A box and all your other comments in the chat. And Bhavna, would you prefer to take the questions during the session or would you like to keep them for the end?
During the session is fine.
All right. So whenever you need to break, just let me know and we'll be keeping an eye in any case. So let's give a warm welcome to Bhavna and over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Himani, for this introduction. And greetings of the day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to the audience and to the LCA team. When Himani connected with me, and frankly, I had heard about Leaders and Coaches Asia, but I was not too much aware of what kind of association it is. And after connecting with Himani, I think now I can say that you guys are doing a great job, especially the area of coaching, which has picked up pace. And as a corporate person, I can say that my journey started with the coaching, say 6-7 years back, when I joined one of the council's coaching arm. And then I came to know about how coaches actually deeply immerse themselves into the other person's shoes and helps the person come out with their intellectual, I'll say, discovery. And if I have to use one sentence for coaching, I'll say that coaching isn't about correcting. It is about connecting, connecting with self, knowing where I stand, what do I lack, what are the gaps, and where can I find my own happiness, my own path with the help of a coach. And as right now, it was mentioned that 70% it depends on a coachee and 30% on coach. Maybe I resonate the same, because at the end of the day, if the coachee is not reflecting upon in a right upon the self gaps and self transition journey, I must say, both on personal and professional aspects, it becomes difficult for coach, because that discovery session that the coaching entails, that is prominent, and it all depends on the coachee, how much they open up. But yes, that trust has to be embedded in the process by the coach. And once the trust is embedded and coachee opens up, I think then the magic happens. So coming back to my coaching journey, so we started through this organization, we started doing coaching projects. We did it for one of the school, wherein the teachers were taken as coaches, and they were certified coaches who started the coaching journey for the teachers. And discovery session happened. Everyone's goals were jotted down. It was a process of 4 to 6 months, I remember. It's 4 years back, a story I'm telling. It was just COVID time. Just people were recovering from COVID and online thing, offline thing. Teachers were also coping up with the pressure. And as everyone went to immense pressure during the COVID time, I think teachers went to the most of the pressure because they had to ensure that teaching methodology and teaching to the students stays intact, even though it is an online mode. So we realized that after 6 months, when we had a closing session with them, the way teachers came up, because it was first time for them, and the way they kind of showed affection and respect to the coaches, it it gives it in fact reaffirms the thought that coaching is a different game changer together. We used to have trainers, we still have trainers, we have mentors, but coaching is a different journey. This is a UN affiliated young girls group, and we realized that even young girls, like they were just out of the teenage, we were not sure how they will, how they will take the coaching journey, and how will they associate with the process. But thankfully, the process itself is so powerful that the magic started showing up right from second and third sessions, and we had fantastic time with these girls. And when I learned all this, I thought about it, and I decided to introduce it in our company. And Himani, I'll play the presentation. I'll put on the presentation.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay, I'll just do it. So let me start. Maybe I'll keep on talking, but I'll just add few points so that I can just, maybe you just do it.
Sure.
I've sent the sharing request, Himani.
Okay. The support team, please help Bhavna. Maybe she needs to, or I can just make you to be a co-host. Maybe that would help.
Sure.
Allow me a minute. Yes, you are a co-host. Just try again,
Okay.
Bhavna.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's on. I hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes, we are able to, and you can put it on the.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is on. So I'll
Thanks.
skip the introduction. Himani has gracefully done this part. Uh, the topic is cultivating tomorrow's leaders and coaching that shapes the future. So for me, and maybe I'll start from here and then I'll connect it with the present organization. So for me, today's leadership is not only about which roles the roles that they are in or the deliverables they are giving, but it is also alignment with the larger purpose. And also, it's important that they connect with uh, the culture of the company, and they are able to see how future will shape up for the organization, coming down to their own self, and then taking it ahead to the teams. For me, it revolves around the strong pillars of culture, ethics, engagement, very important, and innovation. Today's organizations will thrive only tomorrow if they are innovating organizations. And all these pillars will encompass the entire spectrum of the teams, the customers, or communities. I'll summarize it as the complete stakeholder community. So this is where what I think, and I would love to see comments if there are any, and we can engage as I move ahead. Moving ahead, let me speak a little about our company. So we are a Hero Group company. We are into renewables. It's renewable arm of the Hero Group. The company started in 2012. I joined the company at the startup stage. I'm the 9th employee. Today, we are more than 400 employees with operations in India, UK, Singapore, Vietnam, Ukraine. And especially, I don't know if anyone is here from the power, infra, or renewable sector, but our sector is fast moving. The skill set landscape is changing very fast, and agility is the word that is the most required in today's age in our sector. As we know that government's push is on producing green energy. The entire world is talking about SDGs and sustainability. So the role of this sector becomes very prominent in ensuring that we leave a healthy planet for our future generations. And when I say agility is actually the topmost priority, people have to move, people have to leave their mindsets, leave their working styles in order to move ahead and catch up with times, and catch up with not only with times, catch up with technology, the fast moving pace at which the technology is getting innovated, and also ensure that they are able to deal with diverse workforce in their teams, which means generations. Like we have now, millennials, they call it Gen Z or what. So we have all range of people in the all age groups, ethnicity, diversity, geographic affinity, everything. So for them, for it is very important. And now we are talking about in a lot of organizations, although we haven't started, we plan to start it, reverse mentoring, so that the people who have not seen this era of Insta, of all this new age, I'll say tools, also learn that and use it to their advantage. So our sector is at a thrust when lot of growth is there. We need lot of manpower, and every time you just cannot recruit. You need to ensure that you have an approach of building versus buying. So leadership becomes very important tool, and if leaders do not grow, do not elevate, it will be difficult for organizations to thrive, to move ahead, and to grow, and to attain the leadership positions in the sector. So that is why I just tried to summarize why and how we move to the coaching, and why we prioritize the coaching segment. So, because as I already said, because of the rapidly evolving roles, the technology, and I'll just give one small example. Earlier in 2012, the era when we started the company, the solar modules used to be so heavy, so expensive. And now the world has changed so rapidly that, people are procuring cells, people are procuring other stuff somewhere else, and then, they're integrating it, and the solar panels are getting, and now you can put it on the windows, you can put on the facade. So, technology movement has happened at such a fast pace. Is the manpower also evolving their skill set at the same pace? Answer is maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe not in all the organization, and maybe not with everyone. So that is why the leadership and leadership development through coaching becomes important. Uh, Second need, what I've mentioned is, I think it is sector agnostic. Emotionally intelligent leaders is actually all the organizations need today. And the third one, important succession. Young professionals need to be trained, need to be coached to take up leadership roles. Uh, and and for whom? Emerging leaders, the high potential people in the teams, individuals in transition. We have identified a role, but we still think that, from a leadership angle, they need to be trained, they need to be um, taken to that process wherein they think about their styles, and then they elevate and emerge as prominent leaders. Critical role holders, they may be very good at their skill set, very critical to the business, but are they a good team player? Can they be shaped up as leaders tomorrow? Disengaged employees, of course, not all disengaged employees, but those critical ones whom we need to have in the organization because of their roles or because of their specific attributes. And high performers, again, I've already mentioned about high potential. And how? So coaching, and I've specifically written it as a safe space, because one thing that feedback I've constantly received from the coaches that are currently undergoing coaching and that those who have completed the coaching is that they feel so safe when they are in the hands of coach. They say that, without inhibition, they can share all emotions, which although they were doing it with HR, but still there was some inhibition that, oh, you are still in HR role. But now when they know that the coach is not sharing any information with HR or the company, they feel secure. They feel that anything that's bothering them, personal front or professional front, they happily, transparently share with the coach. And the coach, I'm sure, must be providing the right insights for them to think and get out of those emotions and improve their entire persona. Uh, the most important thing is that coaching is customized for people. Uh, that's the best part because group sessions, master classes, they take care of the entire bunch of people. And when it's customized, it leads a more, it's more impactful. And of course, this entire thing has to be focused on growth and acceleration. Uh, and when do we need it? And I think how I described about our industry, but I'm sure a lot of industries would go through these at any point of time. Alignment focus, when people are there, people are good, but we need them to be aligned to the common purpose, and then take that to themselves and then down the teams. Uh, Self-drive perspective, maybe sometimes it may be missing. Behaviors in line with culture, and for us and for the entire Hero Group, the culture is very important. We do not compromise on anything. If anything, I mean, if anyone does anything to the culture, no compromise. The person will not have a place. So it's important. The culture has to remain intact. That's the only thing that will remain alive, over the entire lifetime of the company. Uh, Sometimes it happens that performance is strong, but leadership traits are missing. So this is where how we diagnose the challenges, and we went to the coaching route to cater to them. Moving on. So I'll just, without naming anyone, I'll just quickly talk about one of the case. So this person was a young, competent employee, deputy head of the function, and we had identified this person to be next in line for succession. So what used to happen is that the person used to bring. So what was the requirement? The requirement was that everything was good, everything was perfectly placed, but that maturity as a leader was missing. And in that person's current role, it was still okay, but since he or she was, I mean, that individual was identified as a successor, it was important that the person elevates self to the traits of a leader. What we did, we initiated the coaching. I mean, after that coaching journey, when we did we saw the impact. It was quite visible. Everyone was actually noticing it. It came to our ears and we also saw it. And then we took the feedback. I mean, quite strong, visible change in the team handling ability. Emotional stability, that is important because I've seen a lot of times, even good leaders, they're not able to hold on their emotions. And they'll, in the meeting, they'll say, oh, you're wrong, you're right. And, so that stability is important. What is spoken? And a lot of times in our team, we say this, that, people don't listen a lot of times. They just pause to reload. So I think those traits are important, that people do not, get entangled into that. And that person actually earned respect amongst seasoned peers and the leaders. So this is like a live example. And what actually the individual experience was that the person took time for reflection. Now, in today's busy world, when we're trying to juggle between personal and professional lives, I think we do not reflect on what we're doing and where we want to reach in terms of our both personal and professional goals. So that person the coaching helped that person to do that reflection. And I think that is where the magic happened, and that what generally coaches say, that the factor, or that aha moment. So once you experience that aha moment, I think that is where that entire work is done, and we know that change will happen. uh, so overall, that person has been able to inspire trust, not only in him, in the self, but also in the entire coaching process. uh, any questions on this? Otherwise, I'll move ahead. Himani, I hope no questions, because I don't think I can see the chat.
No questions as yet, Bhavna.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Next case study, again from the company. This is about a mid-level manager with niche skills. And in our sector, just to add that there are few niche skills where you don't get people. Manpower is not available at all. The supply availability gap is such a huge miss, and we do not want to get separated with these type of skills. But there was a why this was a challenge with that individual, because it was a misaligned behavior with respect to company's values. And I said we do not compromise on company's culture and cultural values. So this we recognized. The feedback came, we also experienced the same with that person, and we thought of initiating the coaching, and to reinstate, reconnect that person with company's culture and mission. And the impact, better cross-functional collaboration, the frictions that used to happen reduced, and motivation was at a different level, and that alignment happened, and better stakeholder collaboration. So, so coaching overall helped the person again reflect, and which resulted in changing the mindset from resistance to ownership.
Bhavna,
So
there's a question about asking about the duration of the coaching process. How long was the coaching process?
generally we have the processes ranging from 4 to 6 months. Sometimes because of a non-availability of people or time, so it stretches to 6. But generally we keep 4 to 6. We don't
Maybe
shorten it.
I think the question person was asking in regard with perhaps the case study.
So these were, I think, 5 months, not more than that.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. So these are the two post study case studies. Moving on, just a minute. Just a minute. So sorry. So if I talk about our organization, so impact of coaching, yes, good impact, visible impact. And if I have to give 3 buckets to name them, is one is alignment coaching, as the example was, leadership coaching, and now as we speak, we already have started the journey of the second phase with some leaders in the company. And this coaching is again for 5 months. It's still a WIP. I think 2 months have already rolled on, and we will start seeing the initial glimpses and the impact very soon. And the third pillar being that real transformation, is being witnessed in the entire organization. So for alignment coaching, as I've always mentioned, that individuals in critical roles uh, actually align better with company's vision, and it helped in tackling challenges like low motivation, communication issues, or lack of initiative taking behaviors. On the leadership front, of course, the influencing skills, being a true leader, the entire presence of the person being a leader, uh, helped in confidence building and assertiveness in a positive manner, and help people take up roles with larger, diverse teams. On the real transformation angle, helped improve stakeholder interactions. Uh, Thought and communication was far clear, and more proactive ownership. If I have to just say that, I feel that coaching, as I said, it is about connecting with self, but it's an effective tool in organization building. And I'm seeing that people are adopting it, organizations especially are adopting it, but maybe not at that greater pace as happens the learning and development and mentorship programs. But I'm sure. So the only reason which I see, and when I speak to other HR peers, I realize that many of them have not witnessed the coaching paradigm. I must say that. So I think what you guys are doing, these conferences, these seminars, it's an actual need for people to attend such programs so that they come to know that there's an important, impactful, powerful tool in the hands of the leaders for organizations. Because we as HR and organizations, whosoever is responsible for building the organization culture, leadership, or teams, they have to have a focus on a more engaged, productive, and adaptable workforce. And if we have to strengthen on individual performance, leadership qualities, and we have to promote a culture of continuous improvement within the organization. I think leadership, this coaching is a great tool. If I have to talk about, sorry, yeah. So for us, and I'll say, what is HFE's way? What is our way? Our way is lead with a coach mindset. And now when the leaders get trained or get hand-holded by a coach, they develop the same mindset. Maybe they do not act as a coach, but lot of elements they practice with the teams, which helps establish more trust. And once trust is established, then I think the entire journey is very easy for both the team leader as well as the team members. Uh, the feedback and reflection, and what we've done is we already have a 360-degree feedback. And the impact of coaching is that the leaders have started taking the 360-degree feedback very positively. Lot of times, as I mentioned in one of the case study, that from a mindset of resistance, mindset of acceptance and alignment. So here also this magic happened with the leaders, and I'm sure the leaders who are undergoing the coaching journey will also exhibit these, that whatever feedback comes, they now see it as opportunity for improvement rather than a gap, a negative stigma. So that is actually very helpful. Uh, Encouraging questions over instructions. So even in the teams, when the teams they're interacting with the teams or with the peers or with external stakeholders, with vendors, with contractors, with consultants, anyone, it's you encourage questions. A lot of times, leaders feel that the teams cannot question them. They're juniors. They're just joined from campus. How can they ask questions? But when you get elevated as a leader through whatever ways, yes, coaching way, training way, or self actualization way, you realize that everyone can have a point of view. Doesn't matter if someone is a junior, senior, how many years experience, what level of qualification, but it's important that every voice is heard. So this is something which is fabulous, and I, as HR, actually appreciate and give a lot of weightage to this. That every voice in the team is heard, and a lot of perspectives emerge, and especially when I spoke about being organizations being innovative. Innovation will only come when people think without inhibitions, without reprisals, and without thinking that my boss or my leader or my co employee judge me or think that, oh, I'm talking something which may not make sense. No, it's not. And just to share that we encourage innovation to a great deal. We have coined these Chairman Challenge Awards, and we every year we run these innovation labs. We give it a twist. Like this time, the innovation awards in the name of Chairman Challenge had a AI element to it, and we encourage people to use AI and do bring in innovative projects, undertake the projects, and then exhibit or show the impact. If it helped in resource optimization, if it helped in, I'll say, revenue generation, or helped in any way which can be quantified, or if not quantified today, but maybe in a 2-year span to 5-year span, it can bring results. And we were very surprised. We got at least 30 projects in the name of innovation using AI. And of course, then there's an R&R committee who screens the entries, and we handhold them for a period of say 6 to 8 months is the entire journey, and then whosoever wins, and this year it was like 10 top winners. They went to this Wimbledon just this month only. Yes, it's the beginning of the month with the chairman. So. Sometimes you have to encourage people with rewards. Rewards can be any, it can be a small reward, it can be a pat on the back. But I think if coaching is doing something and coaching is embedded in the entire domain of the company, I think then that needs to be encouraged. So I just thought I'll just mention about these awards of including innovation. And the most important is supporting individual growth journeys. Yes, important. And one example I can share is that when we, this time when we picked these leaders, people have come and shared with me that, never ever any organization thought about us as a person. They were thinking about us as an asset or as a resource and putting us in programs and, I'll say grooming workshops, which may not be suiting my need. But now with this coaching thing, I know I mean, of course, I'm in the hands of the coach, but I can mold it the way I want based on the discussions. So if I think that I need to have more time on the personal front, the coach will accommodate. And, if I feel that it is more on the professional front, coach will accommodate that way. So this was actually very encouraging for me. If the coachee sees it as an opportunity for growth, I think then that person will be always committed to it. So that is something which we value, and I'm sure everyone values, but some may not be exposed to the coaching. So I'm sure the day they will get exposed to this important tool, they'll also bring it to the organizations. Shaping the future, I think the picture says it all. Why I put this picture is significant to the leadership elevation through the coaching journey. It's important if we are focused on future, and coaching is all about future. What has happened in the past, coaching can't, reflect. I mean, yes, reflection will happen, but it cannot change it. So that's the best. I think that's a critical element as part of the coaching process, that it's only focused in future. It's not judgmental on the past. So for that, it's important that we embrace this change that coaching brings, and or coaching will be bringing. And the coaching, and I'm sure all coaches do that elements of trust, integrity, values have to be embedded in that entire coaching journey, so that so if I'm a coachee, I'm being shaped, or I'm elevating in my personal growth, personal journey, but I'm doing this and adhering to the elements of culture, elements of trust, elements of right values that make a human being a good human being. So at the end of the day, any leader, or, they're human beings first. They're leaders in the role or father, mother, and anyone later. So at least I evolve as a good human being with all the good traits that human beings, and then of course in the roles of leaders or whatever role we the hats that we put on need. Uh, an important element is that they continue to inspire teams, and we as a company focuses on lot on this element. And I think I've laid a lot of stress on innovation, so I've put that also here, that innovating boldly, uh, very important if the organizations have to continue for years and years. It's very important that we move on with the innovation angle embedded into the company's culture and company's entire fabric. I must say that. Uh, I think I'm towards the end. Yes, I'm towards the end. Himani, I think I've finished a little good on time so that we can have open discussion.
Thank you, Bhavna. Yeah, we do have some time and we can surely use that for some good discussions. So if any of us want to really unmute, then let us know and we can unmute you and so you can talk to Bhavna directly. Otherwise, here Sunanda had a
And
question.
till the time people are writing questions, so I must say that I also want to experience this coaching journey. I've not personally done it, but based on everyone's experience, I feel that I've already done it. But I would love to and look forward to being coached someday.
So it's the right forum for that. You have coaches all around you. Right.
Right, right.
And so the one thing that I wanted to check with you was that, that as a coach, like we get an idea of what is happening in the coaching domain, but when organizationally you meet for these CHRO meets and HR conferences, how much is coaching spoken about then as a developmental tool for organizations?
I'll say in L&D workshop it is, but generally in the core HR seminars, it's more focused on the business, on the growth, on the role of HR as a facilitator, as an integrator. So that is the more larger focus. But that's why I said that, a lot of people have not been exposed to this impactful tool. And I'm sure one day they will. Looks like I got exposed to it only 6 years back. It's not, and I'm sure the coaching history is long, more than that. So whenever you do it, you experience it, and it also involves resources by the company. So as we say that, it's a one-on-one journey. If we take only say 6 months period, there's the involvement of time, involvement of money, involvement of say other resources. So it is not easy also to monitor the entire process smoothly. Trainings and all workshops, you can still, you have in once in a quarter, or you have those training calendars. So I think that focus is also important. So commitment of organization and commitment of HR is important. I must say that.
Right. And that means the buy-in of the top management would also be so crucial then.
Of course,
Right.
because as I always say that, HR cannot do anything unless they have resources. We need to have resources.
I understand.
That's
Yes.
our responsibility to use resources wisely and ensuring that, the impact happens. But at the end of the day, we need resources.
Surely. Okay, Sananda has raised her hand. So Sananda, please go ahead. And
Hi, Bhavna. Thank you so much for that session.
Hi.
And since you spoke about resources, I think I'll take this opportunity to also pitch a session that's happening tomorrow that you might also want to attend, which is
Sure.
by Rajneesh Malhotra from S&P Global. No, sorry, Rajneesh Malhotra. So he's going to be speaking about how they're leveraging AI to extend coaching across the organization, across levels.
Oh,
So
great.
that this might be a session that you would be interested in attending.
Sure.
Yeah. So coming back to your presentation, I would like to know what is the coaching vision now after having been through all this? What's the vision now for coaching in the organization?
Like I said, that some people have been handpicked. These are very top leaders. And what we have decided is we'll take it to the coaching to the next level. And we are actually articulating, and we are like meeting people to maybe design something. But I want, or we are focused on building the next level of leaders. Like we used to only pick hypos. Now we have key people also. We have people with those niche skills. So we'll pick up a batch and we'll see. Then one, maybe we have 2 coaches, 3 coaches, because one coach may not be able to do justice to so many people. So we are just thinking of that. But that will soon happen. I mean, this month we will be over with our thoughts and with the design, this thing. So this is the second, and maybe next year we extend it to, I'll not say third layer, but I'll say the people who are young, who join from campus, but they have huge potential of taking over these, some niche skills. So that is our target for the next year. And then that is how
great.
then it'll bring a momentum in the company, and people will start talking about, coaching.
Right. It's very encouraging to hear that there is actually a thought through, plan for coaching. So all the best with that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think there was a question. So I think Rahima has asked that how do you measure the ROI of coaching? So as I showed, the impact thing may not be in terms of the numbers, but surely in terms of the behavior, the performance, the engagement level of person before coaching and after coaching. And you can have other metrics also, how the person has started contributing towards helping others in alignment, ensuring that the teams are 100% aligned, the objectives, how proactively that person is furnishing the needs of other departments to align with the, organizational objectives overall. So these are some of the ROI metrics that we are measuring right now. In terms of monetary one, we have not gone up till now there, because I think that is too soon to measure. Maybe one day but that's not the focus also. Focus is elevation, or I'll say individuals being better versions of themselves. That is the main vision of our getting engaged into the coaching process. Someone has said, is there any question, other question, Himani?
I don't see any more in the chat. No, it's not there. And Jeff, did you have a question? Is he around? He's I don't know whether he's still there. Yeah, carry on.
Okay. So Bhavna, based on your experience, what would you recommend to organizations who are just stepping into coaching, how to implement it, and what are some of the things that they should look out for?
I will say that first, plan properly. First, understand the coaching yourself. What does it entail? What can be the outcomes? Because generally, as HR, we get more, I'll say, passionate for the results rather than what goes inside, and say, oh, so how will we see the impact? Generally I've seen even my team, they'll come, oh, they're doing it, so when can we measure the impact? I said, hold on, maybe not today, but it will happen, because this is more on individual development. Maybe we don't see it, maybe they leave and they go somewhere else, but they'll remember their whole life, because it'll impact them more, and in turn the organization. So maybe we don't see that impact, but someone will see the impact. So this is what I say. But for this, you need to have a lot of patience. I must say that, because we've done our bit. Because it is measuring HR's performance also, the L&D's performance also. So I must say that first, learn about coaching, what coaching is, what the process is, because you need to have patience. 6 months. I don't think any coaching does justice if it's less than 4 months. 4 months should be the threshold. And the commitment from the leaders. It may be a high growth period for the company, so chalk out that. Plan perfectly, and then set up the context with the coachee first. Because coachee must not feel that the person lacks somewhere, that's why he's being picked up for coaching. If that feeling goes in the person's mindset, it won't do any magic. So that first dialogue with the coachee, the person who's being picked up as a coachee, is very significant and very important. And so what generally I do is will have a discussion, and I'll then have a discussion along with the CEO. So that person knows that this is an important step that company is taking for their own benefit. And of course, in turn, the company will benefit. Because a lot of time it happens that if 5 people are picked from a bunch of 20 people, the murmur starts that why they were picked. Oh, maybe in some of the meeting, the person may have reacted, or I know his communication or her communication is not proper, so they try to put up, I'll say, gaps in the person's personality rather than seeing it as a reward. I must say, coaching is a reward, right? I'm getting personalized coach for my development. So framing it in a manner, and then, giving or telling the other person that it's actually for you. And you have been picked from a bunch of 20 people because you deserve it. I think that dialogue delivery is very important. Because a lot of times I've seen, not only in our company, but others also, when we were doing these coaching with the school and all, oh, why am I picked? And they'll go and tell the family, oh, I don't know why I'm picked. Maybe they must have observed something, some improvement parameters in me. So that is important. And then plan well, start well. And then the most important thing is, don't pressurize the coachee. Don't burden him or her with the thought that the performance will be assessed based on this. No, don't burden that, because everyone's learning ability and learning journey is different. So they should not be pressurized that, oh, I have to improve fast. It will spoil the entire process. So that is key. I think if we take care of these important elements, surely the fruits will be seen.
Okay.
Actually, you've hit the nail on its head, because more often than not, people see coaching as a remedial process as opposed to something which is constructive. And I think that's the messaging that needs to go out.
That is, I started saying, my starting comment was that it's not about correcting, it's about connecting.
Right. Connecting.
So
Absolutely. Yes.
that is important.
Thank
And then messaging part is to be done very, very smoothly, in a manner that it's seen as a reward, not as a remedial thing that you mentioned.
Right. We have a couple of questions, Aman. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a question in the Q&A box, and participant has raised his hand also. So I'll just read out the one in the Q&A box. He says, out of topic somehow, but a 15 years of experience HR manager said that you shouldn't be friendly with employees. And I told him it's the opposite. The only thing is not to overdose friendship, but she disagreed. And that's out of experience. What do you think?
Okay, so let me maybe share with you that I am called as Mother HR in the company. And that is because of, and I think that says all, and Himani is smiling. So I am friendly. Of course, you're right. Not over friendly, but if HR doesn't have that amicable personality persona, that yes, they're there for you. And I think we're not doing then our roles properly. Gone are the eras when we used to have wear hats of IR managers, personal managers. So human resource development is all about integrating, aligning, collaborating, and then giving them an experience. And I work with a single motto that in our company, if anyone joins, they need to have a lifetime experience of being an employee. And when you have such a kind of mission, you will naturally convert into a friendly HR. But of course, within the purview of the rules and regulations. But I think you will always be admired. You are approachable. People can say anything to you, and that is where I teach my team that elevate yourself to that level of HR managers or whatever, that people start sharing their personal things with you. If you attain that, that's the best one HR can exhibit. So I completely agree what you said, that mm, you know friendly HR, yes, but within those boundaries.
And I can't help sharing, but as a coach, that a friendly advice here would be that use the Americans, do it like the Americans, be friendly but not friends. So, and the best way, one of the best ways to do that is using coaching as your tool. What happens is that you get enough rapport and enough trust to be able to have conversations, but not so much that you get into people's territory and boundaries that you are able to, cause problems to them. So it comes out as an excellent caveat and a tool for having everyday conversations, which also actually brings me to something that was on my mind and my colleagues also. That do you feel that Hero has this culture of having coaching conversations in the water cooler yet, or uh, or that's something
I'll
that
I'll say that because I've spent 12 years, so I always have
yeah,
good words for the company, and I've been the,
I'm sure.
I think, building block in the entire journey. But
Yeah.
as a group, Hero is culturally very strong, and they
Mm-hmm.
exhibit the values starting from the family to the organization. I mean, the values are very, very strong, and this is,
Yeah.
and that is why it's an immense responsibility on me and on others to make sure that we carry on with these values. The company, throughout the entire lifetime of the company. Uh,
Sure.
so,
Sure.
so I'll not say 100% there, but we are there. But the most important thing is, in the company, we have an open door policy. So anyone can talk to me anytime, anyone. And I always say that, HR in our company is 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Okay.
my team will say, oh, ma'am, you go and say this to everyone. I said, because we say that we are there for the team, we have to be there. We have to walk the talk. So it's not just
Yeah.
for saying, we will exhibit it, we'll live that. So,
Right. Right.
so I'll say that, a culture that is collaborative, that embraces everyone as a community, and now with coaching embedded in our fabric, I must say that. So I think, I'm sure things will be very different, and maybe I'll get an opportunity to share with you the added
Sure.
experiences.
Sure, I look forward to a cup of coffee together, and there we can
Oh,
talk a lot more about with the culture. There was Lim who had raised her or his hand. I'm sorry, and I have unmuted you. If you want to, ask a question, please go ahead. And Bilal says thank you for answering, and
thank you.
you then welcome. So Lim is not unmuting, so I don't know whether he or she is interested in sharing the question. And I just wanted to also take this opportunity to share, Bhavna, you wouldn't have seen that video, so maybe we could just use these 2-3 minutes that we have after, of course, formally thanking you and, coming to us and sharing such beautiful insights. And also for us to get an inside picture into, into an organization, which is like, as you said, that it's so strongly bound by its values. And the Munjal Group, we all know, in the times and we've grown, we know that the solid values that they stand for, especially with people in India. And it's heartening to know that, organizations like these, and also I was talking to a friend yesterday, the Dalmias, all of them are coming up with plans as to how to keep moving in with the times and seeing how to take care of their the people that work with them in the manner that will suit them the most at this time. So
True.
thank you once again, Bhavna. It was a wonderful delight to have you, and also to
Same
catch
here.
up with and look forward to more of these in the future. I'll just share this video so that you can also have a flavor of it. And of course, tomorrow, as Sunanda said, feel free to please be a part of this if you have the time
Sure.
and the bandwidth. And I will just share this. Thank you once again, Bhavna.
Thank you so much.
It's vanished. Take the right one. D2. Where's the D2? There seems to be some glitch. So let me just try again. If we can't do it, then it's okay. Let me know now.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.